Yo, still bills. What's the deal, man? Peep game, man. Y'all y'all just finna listen to me and not see my face. It's dark out here, man. But yo, I'm seeing a lot of people say their bud is just about to go in here and stop Sean Porter, and I just don't see it happening, man. I've seen people say because Porter lost to Kell Brook way back in the day. What's that? 2014. That because he lost to Kell Brook then, and Bud beat Brook back in November, that he inadvertently is going to beat Sean Porter because of that. For one, Sean Porter is a far more value fighter than Kell Brook in the now. I don't even see how anybody can argue against it. Sean Porter would beat Kell Brook today. He would. Kell Brook picked his poison once he decided to jump up and go and fight Triple G. He should have never did that. He should have never did that, man. That man suffered brutally in that fight. The dude got his fucking face broken. And that shit derailed his career for having. Not saying that he isn't of value, but was he what he once was? No. No, he wasn't. He isn't. I don't discredit Bud for winning or for taking that fight and beating him. I'm not gonna do that. I won't. But him beating Sean, I knew when Bud signed to fight Kell Brook, I was like, they're gonna, because he's already, he has, Bud has. Spence is his op right now. Spence has so much of a bigger fan base than Bud that they're automatically going to discredit that win if he does decide to fight him. So I saw the writing on the wall right off the rip. And that's enough what happened. Oh man, it's he fought Kell Brook, he got his face broke, he ain't this, he ain't that. I knew they was gonna discredit him for that win, but they do have a point, because he wasn't the same Kell Brook. He wasn't the same Kell Brook that he once was. So I don't see how we can take Kell Brook beating the Sean Porter back in 2014 as a definite that he's going to be able to do it now in the same manner that he did Kell Brook. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I think it's rather ridiculous that people would say that, man. I do have Bud winning the fight, most definitely. But especially here in Omaha, in Nebraska in general, whoever Bud fight, Bud gonna knock him out. All right, cool, that's understandable. But when you sit back, nobody wants to really analyze it and peel back the layers. And it's like, all right, Sean Porter has been in front of every style, literally, from the meeting you in the middle type to the boxer who can use lateral movement, to just standing there and he's been in front of every style. He's been in front of the counter puncher. He's been in front of every style. Bud, outside of switch hitting, isn't going to be able to bring anything different in which Sean Porter has saw. He just isn't. He just isn't. And even with that being said, he's been in the ring with both. Shit, him and Spence. Look at the hell he gave Spence. People still think Sean Porter won that fight. He hasn't been in front of a switch hitter on the level of a Bud. Hell no. But he knows how to deal with the left-handed fighter. He knows how to deal with the orthodox fighter. So my thing is, I do have Bud winning, but in the capacity that a lot of people are thinking, if they even do fight, I just think that shit is kind of absurd. Now, granted, Bud, because he is that good, can very much so go in here and stop this nigga. But it's just nothing that I will put my money on. I'd have far more faith in Bud stopping him before he stopped Bud. But it's just not a fight that I see it going in that manner. I don't. And what makes it so dangerous is Porter wants to be a champion again. He wants to hold that strap again. So that's going to make for a lot more chippier fight than we're thinking. I just don't see, you know, people really just got the game fucked up. Like, Sean Porter don't get busy. He's just about to go in here and just get stopped. And people are using, oh man, Adrian Broner. And it happens in the sport of boxing. Broner has stops at 47. It wasn't the elites. But he has stoppages up here. We know what time it is with Adrian Broner, you dig? He never looked his best at 147 pounds, but you know, the power is there. You know, you can get clipped on the, you know, it's not like that it's a huge size differential between the two of them. You can get clipped on, oh shit, he got me and dropped me, motherfucker. It happens. And if I'm not mistaken, it happened in the last round. If I'm not mistaken. Oh shit, that nigga knocked me down. Alright, cool. People are really taking that shit and running with it. Like, oh, you talk about a dude who's been dropped 6 times in this. I'm like, it happens, man. It happens. How is that any indication that he's gonna get stopped all of a sudden, when even in the fights he's been knocked down, he's never been like dazed and not have his legs up under him. He's displayed a good chin as far as just being, you know, punch resistance and being able to take a good clean shot. So I'm like, where y'all getting the fact that he's going to stop him? He's been in with the tougher competition. He's been in with all of the elites he's been in with all the best at welterweight. He's been in with them. Besides Manny Pacquiao, he's been in with them. So where are we getting that he's just gonna go in here and just run this dude over? I don't see it happening. I absolutely don't see it happening. I think it's kind of ridiculous that we would sit here and, oh man, he about to knock Porter out. You gonna say that for your man? Yeah, hell yeah, he finna knock this nigga the fuck out. I get it from that paradigm, but there's people who really believe that he's gonna knock Sean Porter out. I just don't see it happening. I see it being a grueling, like how Velasquez was with well, that was a different ball game. I think it was Velasquez's. I've said it before. It was his patience and his timing, and you know, he wasn't used to somebody standing in front of him and now try to be the gunner and gun him down. Especially when you're looking, you know, you're looking at it as the underdog in the fight. You gotta make your mark. You gotta set your imprint on this fight early. The moment wasn't too big for Egas, so I don't think it's gonna be in that sense with Egas, because I think Sean Porter is going to be in his chest right out the gate, because that's just who he is. That's just who he is. You know, Porter has sharpened his tools with the best in the division. He has. So I don't think motherfuckers is really playing games and not like just disrespecting. Like, he just about to go in here and just get walked through. You know, my man said 8-4. I'm not mad at that. I personally see it like 7-5. I just do. You can't, outside of Kell Brook, you dig? Like, that was, you know, they wasn't the factors that they are today. Back, you know, in 2014, you dig? They wouldn't become that until after Manny fought Floyd and Floyd retired. They wouldn't become that until then. When the PBC got up and running, that's when you started to see them cats coming to their own. So the version of Sean Porter that we saw back then is not the version of Sean Porter that we have today. And he hasn't been, there's no fight that he has fought in that he didn't muddy the waters. You out there trying to look for, you know, finesse everything and look good off of the back foot, look pretty, like, oh shit, look picture perfect for every screenshot, and he's not going to allow that to happen. He has yet to have somebody just walk in there and be like, man, he fucking Sean Porter up. I think Kell Brook is the only one. I think Kell Brook may have got a unanimous decision over him. But like I said, that was 2014. It's not the same Sean Porter. It's not. And I think that shit is outrageous that somebody would sit there and try to, you know, use how Sean Porter looked in 2014 against a dude that Bud beat in his last fight as a litmus test. Because Kell Brook wasn't what he was in 2014 last November. And Sean Porter ain't what he was in 2014. He's not. He's not. One has regressed, one has clearly progressed. And the only reason why one has regressed is because he decided to jump up and chase a payday. He decided to jump up and chase a payday. And he bit off more than he can chew. He looked good the first 4 or 5 rounds. Never touched the canvas. Never touched the canvas. But, you know, back then I was, you know, I was a Triple G hater, you dig? I'm not the biggest fan of him in the now, but I have a lot more respect for him after he fought Canelo. And showed me, and even after Danny Jacobs, he showed me, yo, all right, yo, this dude just ain't no one-trick pony. This dude can fight. He looked good fighting Triple G, that, you know, early on. But, you know, he never touched the canvas, but you see that man grabbing the rope because he was just gassed by, what was it, at the 5th or the 6th round? He was gone. He had no energy left. He was just drained in that ring, like. And of course you won't play it off after, you know, when your corner throws in the towel. You gonna play it off like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? He was happy that towel got thrown in him. And you can't blame him. And because he did that, because he decided to go up and fight Triple G, it cost him. It cost him. It cost him. Triple G literally beat years off of that man's career. Good years. Because the skill hasn't dissipated from Kell Brook. It's just the punch resistance. He can't take a shot from a quality fighter like he once could. We saw that with Earl Spence. When Earl Spence got to tagging him, he dropped right when we started, you know, coming on late. Earl Spence put him on his, oh shit. Like, damn, man, I'm winded. Now granted, that could be because he dropped 2 divisions to get back to where he was. He jumped 2 divisions, then immediately dropped 2 divisions. So that most definitely played a role, but mainly it was the beating that he took for Triple G. Triple G in his prime was allegedly in there knocking around cruiserweights. Knocking them around. I think Triple G could have fought at light heavyweight. He could have fought at light heavyweight. And you gonna send a 147 pounder up there to fighting? For what exactly? I'm sorry, man. I just that wasn't the same Kell Brook that Sean Porter fought. And I really do think it's an injustice for y'all to base a possible outcome between Porter and Crawford specifically on that narrative. I think that's kind of blasphemous. I think that's real blasphemous. Fuck, kind of really blasphemous. I do think that Bud is going to win the fight. Like, people get it fucked up because I'm not jumping out the window and saying, oh, no. If you can sit there and disregard him fighting Danny Garcia, not Igas, but Yordenis Ugas, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, you can disregard him fighting all of them dudes. Then I don't know, and not just fighting them, but beating them and giving the other ones that he lost to hell on earth. He gave Thurman and Spence all they could handle. He gave them all they could handle. And because he's about to fight our champion, he's just gonna go in there and get knocked out. I don't see it happening. It could happen because I think Bud, he knows what's riding on this fight. So could it happen? Yeah. Would I be surprised if it happened? Yeah and no. If it did, I wouldn't be surprised because, you know, Bud is just, he's just that nigga. I wouldn't be surprised from that paradigm. Like, hey man, you know, that's Terrence Crawford. That's Bud. You know what I'm saying? That man is a one of a kind right there. Would I be surprised, like, as far as the no is concerned? Or yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, yeah. Because Sean Porter has never been in a position where he was, the ref is grabbing the rope, you know, looking to jumping in between and stopping the rampage. I'd be surprised from that. So yeah and no. I'd be yeah and no. I'd be surprised. But I just don't see Crawford going in here and just having his way with Porter as easily as people are thinking. I don't see that. I see Bud, because I mean, one thing Bud likes to fight as well. He is a fighter. I don't know how many fights that nigga has had here in Omaha. That nigga's a hood superstar. He's a hood superstar. I think I said it before. The homie was, they was getting into it at the park in the Bottoms. And Bud just randomly, hey, y'all need help? Walked up on, y'all need help? Like, just say the word, I got y'all. He loves the fight. That's just who he is. That is just who he is as a person. Everybody knew about Bud in the hood. Everybody. So that's just who he is. But when it comes to the sport, that could also be his, his Achilles as well. Getting drawn to a firefight. And that benefits Shawn Porter. Why does that benefit Shawn Porter? Because Shawn Porter can't do anything better than Bud. He just can't. But in that situation, that's his element right there. That's his element. I think Bud is a lot more cleaner in the clinch. I do. I think, but he does. He does get hit. He's been clipped in the clinch by lesser opponents than Shawn Porter. Well, I do think he's a little bit more savvy. He is susceptible to getting hit, and because he hasn't fought anybody on Shawn Porter's level yet, it could be disastrous. It could be disastrous, and I think that's how it's gonna go early on. I think Shawn Porter is gonna drag him into a dogfight. He's gonna drag him into a dog fight, and then Bud is going to start making the necessary adjustments and pull out the victory, possibly knock him down. I see it being like how it was with Keith Thurman. I see that fight happening just like that. Pull him into a dog fight, and then, all right, cool. Bo Mack screaming on him in the corner. Use your jab, pump your jab. Don't just stand there in front of him. Now he's back on the outside, pumping the jab, using his lateral movement, setting traps, switching lefty-righty. That's how I see the fight going on, but it's going to take him a minute to do that. And he's stubborn. You dig? When he fought Igis Velasquez, they was telling him, stop standing there, move. And what did that nigga do? He stood there and stopped him. He stopped him. But they was like, nigga, move. Like, stop standing in front of him. I see that same scenario happening. I see that same scenario happening. I honestly do. He's going to stand there back. He's going to get drawn into a firefight willingly. Porter's going to clip him with something, and it's going to be balls to the wall. Fuck all that outboxing shit, nigga. You got me fucked up. You hit me, I'm hitting you back harder. That's who that man is. That's just in his DNA. And that's dope. That makes for a balling ass fight. But in a situation like this, it could work to his detriment. So I see it early on. Shawn Porter is going to, it's going to be a seesaw, a teeter-totter between the two of them early on. They're going to win in the clinch. He gets one round, he gets another round. This motherfucker may string 2 rounds together. Porter may string 2 rounds together. It's going to be a back and forth between the two of them. But I feel like eventually Bud is going to come out victorious and do what he needs to do and take off. Just separate himself. But if you niggas is talking about he's just gonna go in here and just wash this dude, I don't see that happening. I think it's real outlandish for us to think that. You dig? We can still be fans of our champion, but still be honest about the conversation. And I honestly just don't see Bud going in there and stopping this dude. I don't see it happening. Even though it could happen. And I'd be more susceptible to Bud stopping him before he stopped Bud. I just don't see it happening. Nah, I don't. Y'all gonna have to really put some respect on Shawn Porter's name. And he is a legitimate threat. He is a legitimate threat. He has not been clearly beat since Kell Brook. Let's really get that. Let's understand that. He has not been clearly beat since Kell Brook. They've booed all of the times that he's lost in the arena when they announced the winner. Because he's that nigga. He comes to fight. He comes to fight. I don't see this fight being any different. Of course, I could be wrong because I've been wrong plenty of times before. But on this, y'all gonna have to stop playing. My fellow Omaha niggas. Quit playing with me. Like and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think, man. I'm going to bed. I gotta work in the morning. Peace.